Face the facts. The League of Nations podcast is back with the third week.
Where's the pimp can? We need the pimp can.
Oh, yeah, the belt right here.
Right, there you go. Kurt Hawkins, world champ. Caden.
I don't know. Continue.
We're back. Week 3 of the podcast. As usual, we'll be talking about Raw, SmackDown, NXT. We've got Hell in a Cell predictions and a few other things to talk about, as well as your questions from Twitter. We'll jump right into it. We've got Brock Lesnar's segment on Raw. Caden, fire away.
Well, anyway, with this segment, mistake number 1, having Brock Lesnar portrayed as the heel in his hometown. I don't know whose brilliant idea that was.
Vincent Kennedy McMahon, of course.
Yeah, but a little ridiculous in my book. What about y'all?
Well, Vince blew a gasket, didn't he? So he said, and then he cut the segment short. Hit Brock's music. We had Paul Heyman stuttering, but we don't know whether that was intentional or.
Yeah, as I was saying the last time I seen that, I think that was meant to happen as Paul Heyman's kind of selling that Lesnar's lost to him before, so he does have something to fear about, unlike his previous opponents.
Yeah, so all in all, the segment wasn't very good. Paul Heyman was trying to get Brock over in his hometown.
He didn't know what to do. I mean, he tried to improvise, but it just wasn't working.
And Paul Heyman, of all people, you think would be able to do that, but it's just, like you said, Kevin, it's just not going to happen in Brock's hometown, is it?
Yeah, no, it's not.
His home there. It's like CM Punk when he goes to Chicago. Everyone's going to cheer for him.
Yeah.
But all in all, I think Raw, that set the tone for Raw this week anyway. Even though it was halfway through the show.
I didn't even watch Raw.
You didn't watch it live. Me and Steve did. And Steve was half asleep halfway through. Steve didn't know what was going on. I was just completely devastated by what I was seeing. It was absolutely awful.
When I watched the highlights on YouTube, it was brutally bad. You know,
I mean, for a go-home show, for a pay-per-view, albeit a gimmick pay-per-view, but still, it's not the right way to do it. For instance, we had the list of Jericho went missing from the start. So Seth comes out, he's got the list of Jericho.
No, heck yeah, sorry. Can I just intervene there? The list of Jericho is starting to piss me off.
We know.
I like it just as much as the next guy, but on a go-home show for Hell in a Cell, you put the list as a higher priority than the title. So then where do your priorities lie? It just pissed me off. And even you could tell by Jericho's body language that he wasn't fully into it. I think himself, being who he is, does not enjoy putting the list more over than the title that he's chasing. The previous week, I quite enjoyed when the backstage segment with Kevin Owens, when they were going out of the list and he stopped for a second, he got serious and he was like, look, list aside, you know I'm coming after that title. And that's what I want it to be booked serious. I do not want the list to be booked higher than the title, which it is at the moment, just because it got over with the crowd.
You see that, when we were in the Facebook chat and you said that, like, I started thinking about it. And you're right, like this title, the Universal title, the fact that it was created like only 3 months ago or something like that, and it's being pushed behind a list, goes to show that they don't know what they're doing and they don't know how to build this title. They need to, this is your second world championship. This is your second main championship in the company, and you're here putting a list before that. Goes to show that you don't know what you're doing.
Steve made a good point in the chat actually this week. He said that they've completely WWEized the list. At first, it was an organic thing. It came out randomly, didn't it? And then the WWE saw money in it. They've made T-shirts off it.
They've made T-shirts. It's just ridiculous. They take something that's over, and this is a term, they WWEize it. In other words, they take something that's over, organically over, and then they just ruin
Make it their own.
They try to make it their own and still make it relevant or funny, and it's just not, because it just turns corporate then.
Yeah.
Which I do not
this
like.
Is the PG era people. We have a list that means more than a title. We have Brock Lesnar beating everybody that he comes into sight with. I mean, Raw is really bad. I mean, we've all agreed that we won't watch it live anymore. We'll get the highlights the next day, and we'll still cover it on the podcast, but we won't be covering it on Twitter anymore.
You see, here's the thing. Here's the thing for me to want to watch it on next Monday. Something really good has to happen at Hell in a Cell for me to really want to watch it.
Even then, yeah, can you see anything happening in that?
Yeah.
I mean, Goldberg's on Raw.
Knows what happened. Triple H is going to come out, but they should have saved that segment. Hell in a Cell then.
Yeah.
They kind of blew the whole Triple H thing. Now, if he does come out, who's going to care, really?
I suppose they've got to build for WrestleMania. If they're going to have Seth versus Triple H at WrestleMania, they've got to build for it. But it is a little premature at the moment.
But this is the problem. Build for it. He came out how long ago? Did he screw Seth?
It was what?
And they've done nothing since. There's been no appearance. There's been one appearance, sorry. But it was on their YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Which they did show on Raw, in fairness. But still, there's been absolutely nothing about it. Which I think, in turn, is denting Seth's face return. Or face turn, should I say. Because he has nothing to go off. Like, yeah, Triple H screwed me, but Triple H hasn't given him a reason yet.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, it's a big mess.
A lot of the storylines are going that way, though, aren't they? They don't come to an end.
They keep going.
They keep going, or they don't necessarily come to an end that they should come to, if you get what I mean.
They just keep going.
It's more of a... I don't even know. It's just fucking Raw people. But speaking of Seth, we was going to talk about the triple threat between Jericho, Kevin, and Seth, where Seth actually pinned both men at the same time, which I don't know if that's good or bad, in all honesty. I can't figure out the lines between.
It's very bad. And here's why, because, like, we know it's wrestling, it's not real, but you need some form of believability, and you're trying to tell me a person of Seth Rollins' size held down two people like Kevin Owens and Jericho with separate arms on a pin. I don't know, the ending I don't think was the right one.
There's a reason why they call him CrossFit Jesus.
Yeah, but I don't know. At least Kevin Owens afterwards, he attacked him, didn't he?
Yeah.
I suppose Kevin Owens got his revenge, but maybe...
That's the first time I think they've shown Kevin Owens that how he should be booked as this badass who just kick people's ass.
It was essentially the same way he took out Sami Zayn in NXT.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It works. It shows he's aggressive. It just shows a right direction and not being second to the list and Jericho, because that's what it is. His run has literally been stunted by Jericho. Of course, Jericho's got over.
Should Triple H come out tomorrow night, Seth's got a feud then with Triple H.
I think he needs to, and the reason being is because if Kevin Owens does retain, which he will, Seth needs something to do after this feud, and if he just loses clean with no, with nothing to do with Triple H, what happens? Is he gonna come out the next night on Raw and be like, "Where the hell is Triple H?" We just need to see. We need to see the game, and because, like you said, it's been months since we saw Triple H turn on Seth, and no explanation. And we need something for Seth to do, We need this feud to be built, and so far they're not building it.
I think that is the next road for Seth, really. But
Yeah.
what I was going to say is, where does Kevin Owens go now?
But this is another thing. Yeah, I was just going to say that Jericho, what if Triple H doesn't come out and it's Jericho who helps Owens to screw Seth? Where does that lead then? Like, Jericho obviously will inevitably turn on Owens, but when? My prediction was Survivor Series. I think Stephanie said they want him in the tag team. I think Jericho is going to turn on Owens during that. I'm not too sure. See, they have done way too much in Survivor Series where someone turns on someone and walks out. Right?
Yeah.
It's just,
was it Big Show
how they pull it off?
Completely the whole team. So that is the predictable thing, I suppose. But inevitably, it will end up in a Jericho and Kevin feud, I'm guessing.
It should.
But I miss the days, because it's not always been a heel versus a face. There has always been, back in the day, you used to get heels versus heels. Trying to establish dominance, you've got a face versus a face. Now, I don't understand why it always has to be a heel versus a face. But that's just me. I think a lot better feuds would come from a heel versus a heel. Now, obviously, one of the two out of Jericho and Kevin will turn face, inevitably. But I don't understand why they can't just both be a heel.
Because they feel like the fans won't be invested in it. They feel, especially the little ones, the kids, they feel like this is how the WWE is these days. They always think about the kids, and the kids like cheering for the good guys. So to get the kids invested,
fresh though. I think Raw needs a completely new platform. I wouldn't say SmackDown does at all. I think SmackDown's doing perfectly fine, but I think Raw needs a completely new platform. I think they need to just start again, wipe the slate clean, which is something obviously they can't do. So they need to think of stuff. And I think there's been quite a few rumours recently that Vince would step down. Now, I don't believe that for a second. I don't think he will.
No.
He was selling the company. He's announced he's selling the company.
Yeah, the right offer comes along, he will accept it.
Yeah, by the right offer, he means what someone bought UFC for $4 billion, and there's no one going to pay that for a wrestling company. No one.
See, I think that WWE would be worth more, than the UFC.
You'd think that, but listening to Vince McMahon's conference call the other day and seeing their income and outcome and profits, no. Absolutely nothing compared to UFC. Their profits were only something, I can't remember the exact number, but it is very low. But
I suppose when you look at it though, you've got UFC can make, like Conor McGregor, they've got a fucking top guy there who brings in so much money each pay-per-view that he goes to and he fights on. Whereas you look at WWE, you've got the same matches each pay-per-view. You're losing fans because people don't want to see that shit anymore.
Yeah.
So I suppose when you look at it that way, maybe UFC would make more money. Fresh fights, each time somebody fights, it's fresh, different opponent. They build a feud. They film them for months leading up to the fight.
And in people's eyes, it's real.
That as well. But we're wrestling fans, I suppose. We're not unfortunate. We can't really say that we're unfortunate because we're not. I think 2016 has been the best year for wrestling, no doubt.
Yeah.
But getting towards the end of this year, WWE have made their wrestling very stale. Whereas you've got other promotions, even TNA can build a feud. They can have people invested. They can build storylines that are different each time. They don't go back to the same stuff, and that's fucking TNA. But Vince McMahon is so stuck in his ways. Everything's the same. You got the same feuds each month, and it's just boring. Hence why people don't want to watch Raw anymore. People are all tuning in for SmackDown. But enough of that anyway. I think we should move on to Mick Foley, Sasha, and Charlotte. Now, Mick Foley was crying throughout this segment.
Yeah, he got triggered by the thought of the cell.
It did actually
I
quite.
didn't like that at all.
How come?
I didn't like it at all. Okay, Foley, yeah, he got emotional and it was a good promo. You could say that, but he made it 90% about him and 10% about them not going in the cell. But he's general manager and put them in the cell in the first place.
See, the thing with this women's revolution is they had to start this women's revolution because women weren't getting their opportunities in wrestling. And
surely the women revolution is over at this stage. Like,
you think so? But when you look back at it, who fucking started extraditing these women? It was Vince himself. He was the one that put them in these gimmick matches that were, oh, get your tits out, show us some skin. Don't actually wrestle, just do this, have a pillow fight, do that. And now, all of a sudden, you've got people like Sasha Banks and Charlotte, Becky and Bayley who've come in and they all want to actually wrestle and show what they can do and be compared to the men. Which is obviously a good thing. But Vince, he just... The main event tomorrow will be Seth versus Kevin, because Vince apparently won't budge on that.
I just sit there and imagine Vince. Someone comes up to him and it's like, so who do you want as the main event? Seth and Kevin. And I ask, but what about the women? What? They're women.
It is quite sexist.
Like, he's so stuck in his own time that he can't keep up with today. He can't keep up with just how everything has progressed. He is still stuck back in his time. Yeah. And of course, you get the whole women's equality, all that kind of stuff. But Vince is having none of it. I still don't think. I think the women. It lasted. He tweeted about it one stage, and it lasted about 2 weeks, and then it was back to the same again. I still don't think it's fixed. I still think they book, I'd say, two women, like for the arm wrestling match between Dana and Bayley.
That really killed it. That was what sent me off Raw this week. That was what put me off completely. But
women's evolution or revolution. Yeah, nothing says evolution like arm wrestling matches.
But think about it this way. If Vince wasn't stuck in his ways, would we need a women's revolution? I don't think we would.
No,
you look at UFC, you've got...
That's what I said.
Main eventing pay-per-views, you've got Chris Cyborg, Misha Tate. They didn't need a revolution. But now they've made this whole massive thing, because I personally think it is for the money at the end of the day. I think they've done this because they can sell more shirts. They can get these hardcore women's wrestling fans to watch the product simply because of the women's revolution. I don't think it's a revolution at all. I think it's not that hard to book a main event for your women.
They are trying. They're just. The thing that is ticking me off is that they keep talking about this history. Yes, sure, you're getting a Hell in a Cell match. History. You're this close to getting a pay-per-view main event. That will be history. But like I said last week, you can't force that history. You need to let it just flow naturally. And that's the thing that's pissing me off. They're just forcing this history, and it's not the right time.
And essentially that is right, because they are just forcing history. They didn't need the main event of Hell in a Cell to be the women if they are getting the first ever Hell in a Cell match in that pay-per-view. That's 2 historic moments in one pay-per-view that is essentially...
Well, this is another problem, though. They're covering their asses by saying they're having 3 main events on one night.
Yeah, the triple main event.
How ridiculous is this? It's stupid. Triple main event. There's one match that's the main event, and that's it. There's not a stupid triple main event. First of all, the US title does not deserve to be main event.
No.
And literally, why are they making it a main event? Because Roman Reigns is in it.
Yeah.
Look at previous...
As I said, I like Roman, but just because Roman's in it.
Would anybody have booked a main event for the US title ever?
If
No.
say if it was Rusev versus Cesaro, Rusev versus Zayn, it would not be the main event. It'd be the
No way
first
would it
match
be
of the
called main
night.
event. Yeah.
It would not even be in Hell in
It
a
wouldn't even
Cell.
be in a Hell in a Cell. Yeah. No. But anyway, the women's match. They have it down as a main event, but will they put it on last? We do have a question that asked that. And then, of course, we have Seth and Kevin, which 100% should be the main event.
Yeah.
It's the world title.
It's because it's the universal title. But the only thing is, if they don't put the women on last, but they still count it as a triple main event, then we go on to another pay-per-view, say, what's Raw's pay-per-view? TLC, besides from Survivor Series.
I'm not too sure. Wasn't TLC SmackDown?
It could be
TLC
TLC.
is
Or
SmackDown. TLC is SmackDown.
it's Roadblock then, isn't it?
Roadblock, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Road. If they put the women on the main event of Roadblock and people are like, oh, look, it's a women's main event, it's going to dampen that because is it really the first one?
Is it?
I suppose,
It's
yeah.
hard to say.
I've lost my train of thought now, but we'll come off that because we've got a question to answer on it later anyway. But for me, the women's revolution isn't a revolution. There never needed to be one. But we'll move on. We're going to rate Raw.
Hold on, I have one thing to say about the women's revolution. Who started it? In your opinion, who started it?
You've got Paige and Emma always come out, don't they, and say that they
Yeah, a lot of people want to say Paige.
I wouldn't say Paige started it because I think people get the gist that she started it because she was an anti-diva.
Yeah.
Kind of. That's the common conception anyway.
Yeah.
But another thing is, I know I'm wearing her shirt now, but Nikki Bella always says she started it, which really pisses me off.
Yeah.
You say that.
Because she didn't.
Yeah,
she
look
is mainly the cause of it.
Yeah,
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I'm wearing it, but still, it pisses me off. Who says it? The person personally that I think started it is AJ Lee.
I agree. I was about to say that.
Because remember a promo against the Bellas? I think that's what started it all off.
Yeah.
That's what I think. So,
Talent is not
people say it's
sexually
Paige.
transmitted.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Bellas are essentially the cause because of Total Divas.
Yeah.
They had a TV show named after it. Essentially, that TV show put a whole glitter on that title, and that's what.
And who was in that show? Paige.
That show completely changed Paige.
So
she's a different person since starting that show. But that's another topic anyway. Raw, rate out of 10. I'd give it a 2. I said this on Twitter. I'd give it a 2 out of 10.
I agree. I'd give it a 2. Like, I just don't know.
That's not a good 2 either. I mean, I'm only giving it a 2 to be nice. I sat through 3 hours and 15 minutes of absolute shit. And I do this every week. Steve, what do you think?
0.
Well, at least he has a bollocks
0
to say
because
it.
I did not enjoy. I did not enjoy any of it, and I fell asleep pretty much towards the end. So
I don't blame you.
I'm not going to lie and say even I enjoyed it the slightest bit because I didn't.
Fair play. Right, we'll move on to SmackDown. Where do we kick it off with? We've not got many points to talk about SmackDown. I think everything is done right on SmackDown in my eyes. I think the storylines are great. Other than the booking of the champions, I'd say everything's perfect. But
Yeah.
we'll kick it off with the Wyatt family. So we had Harper and Bray versus Kane and... Was it? No, it was Bray versus Kane, wasn't it?
It was Bray versus Kane.
Harper was by his side. And then boom, at the end comes Randy Orton, RKO's Kane, which nobody saw coming. I didn't actually watch SmackDown live, but you two were in the group chat and you were going mental at the fact that Randy Orton had just RKO'd Kane, which I thought was quite weird as well. But It
You
is good
see,
storyline progression. You never would have saw that coming.
it
And it leaves
is
you wondering what
because
happens next week.
when it happened, yeah, exactly. When it happened, I was confused, but at the same time, I was like, I was shocked because I didn't expect that to happen. But yeah, you're right. It got me wanting to know more and wanting to tune in next week. But I was thinking about this, and a lot of other people have brought it up that this is probably going to end up like the Bray and Daniel feud
Yeah.
in 2014 when Daniel joined the Wyatt family and then turned on him 2 weeks later. So
When you look at it, you think Randy is a viper, isn't he? He's a snake.
yeah,
He's going to worm his way in, get into their heads, and then take them out where they think they're friendly. Randy won't see it that way. So I'm definitely interested to see it. I mean, if Randy does join the Wyatt family for some unforsaken reason, I think I personally would like it. I love Randy. I think he has a character that could kind of go that way as well. I mean, I wouldn't like to see it as a long-term thing, maybe a month or two, but I'd enjoy it personally.
yeah.
And if it pushes Bray into stardom, gets him a title shot, I will not complain. Steve?
Yeah, I was completely shocked by the whole just RKO on Kane. And personally, I think, especially when he was asked the question, he was looking around and he goes, if you can't beat them, join them. I think he will join them, but as I said, like the Daniel Bryan, or as Caden said, like the Daniel Bryan thing, I think it's going to last about 2 or 3 weeks. Then he'll turn on them. It'll be a storyline where he gets in their head and he just turns on them, leading to another match.
Yeah.
The only thing I want to see Randy in one of those Wyatt overalls.
That'd be quite cool.
I need to see that.
Oh, right. I suppose that answers our questions. We talk about Bray quite a lot on the podcast. So we'll
He's our
move on.
mascot.
He's our mascot, yeah. We're all going to get lanterns.
Lanterns and fedoras.
Fedora Club, full effect. We've got James Ellsworth and Dean. Now, I know you're quite sick of seeing him, aren't you, Caden? James Ellsworth.
Okay, fine. Unpopular opinion. Here we go. I absolutely despise James Ellsworth, and here's why.
Wow.
I feel like we talked about this last week or some other time. I don't know if it was on the podcast, but I feel like we discussed it. Why the hell is James freaking Ellsworth getting title shots over with the crowd? Because he's an internet sensation is what I like to call him. He came in as a jobber, and that's all he is. He is a jobber. And right now, yeah, cool. It was cool to see him on SmackDown when he teamed up with Styles and got beat up by The Miz. That was cool to see, because it was like he was getting an opportunity. But now he is just showing up week in, week out in the main event scene, and he's just becoming a pest. And people are praising Ellsworth in the WWE for him. No, you got this guy who is just like I keep saying, an internet sensation over with the IWC, and he's getting these opportunities when guys who actually work there and work their ass off are still sitting in the back. It doesn't make sense to me.
I'll tell you one thing, though. You look at James Ellsworth, he's got his T-shirts, he's got his own theme song now. The WWE clearly love him. Is this not another list of Jericho situation where they've completely WWEized him?
And you can totally look at it that way.
He was naturally...
I don't think it's that bad yet. And the reason he's up so high is because Vince is a very big fan of him. I can't remember what I was reading or watching the other day, but after Sure, he has his own slogan now, isn't it? It's any man with 2 fists has a fighting chance or something like that.
Yeah.
He was told by Creative as the first to go out with a line, and Vince was apparently very impressed by his performance and shook his hand after the first match. As well as this, he has wrestled for WWE before in dark matches when they go to his hometown. So he is known around the place, and he is known to help around the back. So that's why he's getting where he is now.
I've read that before, that he does help behind closed doors. But,
yeah, he does,
I think,
which is fair play to him. And
if he's on TV next week, and they start, I think he will be, won't he? Because he's pretty much got to apologise to Dean.
Yeah, he's gonna be on SmackDown next week, and people are gonna be like, Ellsworth, and they're gonna be cheering him, and the internet's gonna go crazy, and I'll be over here losing my shit.
I think it will go that way. I think they will completely WWEize him.
But they haven't yet, but it's getting on that path now.
It's getting there.
The only thing I really don't like is the likes of JBL and David Otunga on the commentary make on the fact he's no chin.
JBL's commentary on Ellsworth this past Thursday was absolutely brutal. Like I'm not a fan of Ellsworth, but JBL just completely obliterated Ellsworth and
that's the thing. They had this whole Be a Star campaign, and here they are, essentially picking on this lad for having no chin.
Yeah,
it's bullying.
In saying that, who was it? Well, it was Otunga who said no chin music, wasn't it? Yeah. I'll hand that to him. That was quite funny.
Yeah.
But they just seem to be taking it too far in. They're essentially just slagging him off at this stage. And Ellsworth said it himself. He said in an interview that he understands why he gets picked on because of his no chin, but he's out there having fun and he's doing what he loves. So can't fault him for that.
Fair enough.
This week we had Kevin Dunn. The if you've watched What Culture videos, WTF moments, you know who Kevin Dunn is. The man with the big teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah. He commented on Becky's promo skills because he has
because of her Irish accent. Now, granted, just let me say something on this. Granted, on SmackDown when she came back and her first whatever she said to open her promo, in fairness, I did not understand a single word she said. However, you can't. She's Irish. She has a strong Irish accent. You're actually going. I read something that they were gonna cut down her promo time because of her accent. On what grounds are you even allowed to do that?
It's slight racism when you think about it.
It's super offensive. Like, what?
But me, I like the idea of cutting Becky's promos down, not because I can't understand her or I don't like her promos, because I do. I love Becky, but I think more action inside the ring would serve her better than speaking every week. Because we went through a massive time where she was getting beat every week. And I think now they need to build her as more of a... She's in the Four Horsewomen, she can do this. She's up there with Charlotte and Sasha and Bayley. And she is holding it down on SmackDown herself. She is the champion that we all wanted. I think she can speak. I can understand the Irish accent.
I'm sure Steve can.
Yeah, Steve will be able to, yeah. But I don't agree with Kevin Dunn, but yeah.
No.
If you are going to cut her promos down, have her in the ring more, get her doing more stuff in the ring.
Yeah.
But the thing I don't understand is they don't cut down Sheamus's promo yet from the same place. If you don't know, they're both from Dublin, and they both have a Dublin accent.
Yeah.
But
is Becky stronger?
What's the problem with Becky and not Sheamus?
She's a woman.
I suppose so. The only thing is when they make her do the real Dublin words, like you heard her say Dumbo. That kind of stuff. it would be funny maybe as like American or not Irish to hear that, but as Irish you just don't want to hear that. It's kind of like when Seamus says arse.
Oh, even
Like,
worse when
just
Finn
no.
Balor says arse.
That's the thing, he hasn't said it yet. And the time he was doing the promo with Seth Rollins, and he said, I'm going to kick your... And I was actually sitting there with my mate, Duffy, and we were like, don't say arse, don't say arse, don't say arse, don't say arse. And he said arse, and we were like, yes! I just don't want him to be like, he's like, okay, the accent aside, I don't want him to be associated with Ireland because that equals Sheamus. It equals Kiss Me Arse match, which is highly embarrassing to us. Like, I don't even like Irish, but
it's kind of
it's a piss take. That's what it is.
It's the Americans.
Like the whole thing with Finlay as well is another thing I'll say. What was Finlay's thing where he had a little leprechaun and most of the time he was piss drunk? I mean, come on, what is that?
Yeah, we're very offensive over here.
Yeah, it is essentially what the Americans see the Irish.
I'm not easily offended, but I'm just saying. Like, I have a dark sense of humour. As the two boys will know, I do have a dark sense of humour, but offensive is just really stupid and petty, is the way I put it. But then again, you do have the likes of what they had was Festus with their biscuits and gravy. So, I suppose it's just what they do. It's just what they do.
On that note, though, we had the Bliss's part of that segment, and I think she came out and she's insane on a mic.
Alexa is the best heel female in the WWE. I'm saying better than Charlotte because she is. Okay.
Yeah. I think Bliss is definitely up there. I'd say you can say that, Caden. That's your opinion. My opinion would be that she's better than Sasha. Because I really don't rate Sasha as highly as everybody else does. I know Steve's with me on that. But even without comparing them to anyone, I think Bliss is definitely up there as one of the top females in the company. She is insane. She can wrestle. She can talk.
I'm after that segment, I am highly convinced that she will win the women's championship sooner rather than later, whether it be in Glasgow or TLC. I think by
I don't see her winning it until maybe a pay-per-view. I don't think they'll defend it in Survivor Series because they've got no matches.
I think you give Becky one successful defense, and then I see Bliss winning it at least by early 2017.
Yeah, it's a good feud at the end of the day. I think they can go.
Yeah. Oh, it's very good.
They
know how to book the women on SmackDown.
Yeah, I don't know who actually runs SmackDown. Creative with.
Do they though?
Because like I said before, they can't book champions on either show.
Oh yeah,
but I think the storylines are much better on SmackDown.
The only reason I'm saying do they because outside Becky and Bliss, what are they doing with Natalya lately?
Yeah,
this I really don't understand. Why did she get put in a match with Nikki to captain the team? Was it? I think it was captain.
Yeah.
When you could have both of them in the match. That confused me.
Yeah, that's
the whole thing with Naomi. Naomi's lost in just limbo of she'll beat one person 1 week and then not be on TV for 2 weeks. Nikki and Carmella, they are on the verge of messing this up. What was a promising rivalry will turn into you're married to John Cena. This whole thing.
See, I'm very invested in that feud, so I'm not gonna comment on it. But you do you.
It can go.
Yeah, as we said, wrestling's subject to a lot of different opinions, and that's how it is.
Yeah, it can go one of two ways. I think with Carmella and Nikki, it'll either turn into this is about John Cena and Big Cass, or on that section, you've got it could actually go into a Total Bellas bullshit thing, or it could actually become
And
the feud
that's
that we
where I
all
think
wanted it
it's
to be.
gone, which, yeah, I want it to be that feud, but if they, were they on TV? Oh yeah, Carmella attacked Nikki, but
Yeah.
once that was a once-off promo and just leave the Total Bellas or Total Divas out of it, it'll be all good.
Yeah. It's the best way to go. They don't need to bring stuff like that into the wrestling world, really.
No.
Fair enough, they've got the shows away from it, but we don't need to see that on TV. So, what would you give SmackDown this week?
I give it a solid 8.5 out of 10.
Steve?
I'd give it about a 7. I did fall asleep towards the end, as you probably noticed. Our Twitter went dead. But
Yeah, I noticed that.
was just down to my tiredness, nothing to do with SmackDown at all. I quite enjoyed SmackDown, so yeah, 7 out of 10.
I quite enjoyed it this week. I'll give it an 8. I'll go with an 8 because I enjoyed the Randy and the Wyatts thing. And for the first time in like 6 months, I actually enjoyed a match that had Dean Ambrose in it. So
that match was really, really good.
Yeah. But I'm not going on to Dean Ambrose. I can't be bothered talking about that. So we'll move on to NXT. We got the Mickie James announcement. Mickie James has finally been announced, which I say finally. It's only been a couple of weeks since it was first announced, and then they announced it officially on NXT. But that is a feud I'm definitely interested in looking into. That's Asuka versus Mickie James at TakeOver Toronto.
Asuka is about to be put over so freaking hard.
Valid point. She is.
I'm sorry, but did you see that on NXT? Can someone explain to me why Asuka was creaming herself? Mickie James was on the screen. I was actually amazed by just what Asuka was actually doing. She was standing there licking and biting her lip. I was like, what is this? But still, yeah. Anyway,
if you saw Mickie James in front of you like that, I'm sure you'd do the same, Steve.
Yeah.
Can't lie.
So, Asuka's what? The Empress of NXT. She's absolutely fucking insane. She's actually
the biggest one of her career.
She's the Empress of wrestling, not just NXT.
She is what women's wrestling should be.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
She's fucking brilliant. She's like 100.
Great.
Oh, God help when she goes to main roster.
Completely.
Never dubbing to Nia Jax, won't it?
Do you know what? You look at Asuka and she's been undefeated in NXT. And do you not think that by technicalities, if she were to lose a match, that she could go the rest of her career undefeated?
I'd like to see her do that.
It's something new. It's different. It's not happened for a long time. And I think someone of Asuka's level deserves that.
Yeah.
Maybe through a technicality in the next
as I said,
months.
I can see her coming up to the main roster. I can see her going to Raw. And she bet Nia Jax in NXT, didn't she?
Yeah.
She did.
Yeah. So I can see Vince being the superior asshole that he is to prove he has a point or something, that I can honestly see her losing her first feud to someone like Nia Jax.
Do you think she'll go on Raw?
Pains me to say. Well, Raw's women's division needs something at the moment. So yeah, Paige is gone. Summer Rae. I'm sorry, what's this huge thing over Summer Rae?
I don't know.
It's just the fangirls on Twitter. They keep.
I see absolutely nothing appealing about Summer Rae at all.
Yeah,
she can't talk.
I agree.
She has no charisma in her ring. She can't wrestle. People say that Roman can't wrestle and that Eva Marie can't wrestle, but Summer Rae can't fucking wrestle. There is no mass appeal. I think it's because of her looks. Personally, I don't even find her good looking, and I think she's got a massive nose.
I don't either.
I think she's horrifically ugly, but there is no mass appeal to a Summer Rae, and these fangirls on Twitter have made her something that she isn't. Well, that's just me.
It's like that tweet that Mick Foley was talking to someone
Yeah.
in his DMs,
The
and
leaked
she
DMs.
posted his DMs. I'm sorry, but what a bitch. She
Yeah.
got all the support from all little stan girls. Fuck that shit.
Like,
Fuck out of here with that shit. For Mick Foley to take time out of his day to respond to such an asshole, and then you to go and post them DMs. Get out of here. It's just stupid.
Mick Foley's a nice guy. Don't do him like that.
yeah.
Exactly. He took time out of his day, which is probably a busy day, much busier than the person who DM'd him. He took time out of his day to respond and to try to be nice about it. And she goes and does that. And then you get all these people messaging Mick Foley. And I'm pretty sure you can't DM Mick Foley anymore, can you? I'm pretty sure he's closed.
Yeah, you can't tag him in photos or anything like that. So
Yeah, I wouldn't blame him, but
he's completely shut
that
his
was
Twitter down, really.
just
Isn't he? But that's the problem with Twitter. It's all these fangirls and fanboys that have profiles dedicated to one wrestler, and there's no way around them. You know, like you'll say one thing, and then they'll all jump on you, and you'll have to have an argument on Twitter that you don't want to have. But those
I
people,
want to have them because that's just.
yeah, you do.
Caden.
You're fucking triggered
Caden.
24/7. You there's definitely some anger issues in you.
What, man? I'm the Adam Block of grapple game. What do you want from me?
You're the world champ. You're a heel. You little bitch.
Yes, I'm the heel.
But I'm not going to talk about that. It pisses me off.
Yeah.
So we've done the Mickey James. We had DIY back, Gargano and Ciampa. Who the fuck would not be happy about that shit?
I love them.
Who did they face?
I love them.
Squash
Ho Ho Loon and
Oh,
Tian Bing, some shit like that.
Yeah. It was quite a
Two
good match
Asians.
as well.
Two Asian guys.
Yeah. Good match. DIY is just insanely good.
They had the finisher, and they're on. I'm not sure if it's next week, but they've got the revival in the next round. They could get some redemption for when they lost the titles.
Here's what I think what'll happen between those two teams. I think DIY beats them in the next round, and I think DIY does go on to win the entire tournament.
I say the exact same. I think.
And because they beat the revival and won the tournament, they get a title match against the revival.
Valid, and then they'll take them off them, and then
they'll take
maybe
them,
revival will go up.
Which
Good
is
shout. Good shout.
Yeah.
I think they will beat DIY. They'll beat the revival though, and they'll then go on to win it. It's the most. I wouldn't say obvious option, but it's the best option.
It's
for me.
the most logical option.
Yeah, because they're over with the fans. They're finally getting merch, this and that. People love them.
What about you, Steve? Oh God.
Steve.
Fuck.
Right, we'll have to cut this bit out, won't we?
What a disaster.
What happened?
Jesus.
My phone just turned off. You'll have fun editing, Caden.
Yeah. What was the last thing you heard?
You were talking about DIY.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we'd more or less covered it though, haven't we?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's grand. You can move on from that and just start a new topic.
Okay, moving on.
Technical difficulties aside, we're moving on.
Sorry.
We was going to touch on the Ty Dillinger and Bobby Roode segment, but I don't think we really need to. I think if you've seen
Rude attack, Dillinger.
yeah, if you've seen it, you know what's going on. So there's not much we can add to it, really. I think it's a good feud.
Yeah, pretty good.
A match at Takeover.
It's pretty good.
We was also.
My God.
What the fuck?
Hey, that's pretty good.
Fucking hell, if we're not eating popcorn.
I'm making this a disaster, man.
Right.
Oh,
Noam Dar debuted at NXT at a live event. Was it last night or the night
Yeah.
before?
This
Not too
summer.
sure, but he's back. He's here.
Dar.
We know where he is. There's no more missing signs going out for Noam Dar. He's finally arrived. Will he be on Raw next week? Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck cares? It's fucking Raw. We're not fucking watching it. Fuck Raw. So, so we've got Noam Dar on NXT, which I'll watch him on NXT. We'll probably cut out his segments of Raw and just watch Noam Dar.
Jesus, what did I do?
Jesus, Caden, are you all right?
Sorry, moving on.
Do you want us to give you 5 minutes? Just settle down.
No, I hit my keyboard with my strap and it did something.
You sure?
Move on.
50-50, phone a friend. You sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
Right, let's go. Another thing we was going to talk about was the plans for Shinsuke and the main roster. And as far as we know, he's not going to be there until at least mid-2017. That's the plans as of now. As we all know, plans do change. But I think it's for the best. I think
I agree. That needs to stay the plan.
I think once he hits the main roster, there's the strong possibility that it'll fucking ruin him.
Yeah.
So it's better for him to stay in NXT for a while. Do the Finn Balor, stay there for be the champ for 300 plus days. I will not complain at that. Give him fresh.
that's the thing, isn't Shinsuke unbeaten as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is, yeah. It's the Japanese that take
these
it
Asians, man.
They're right on it.
Who would beat Shinsuke?
I think Ty Dillinger's going to go up, so I can't see it being Ty Dillinger.
I think you got to look at possibly Bobby Roode.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it will be Bobby Roode that beats him.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think
I'm going to say Eric Young.
Beating.
Eric Young is a very good shout.
I'm going to say Eric Young because I think they will start it. They're going to build up sanity, and I think he's going to get a title shot, and it's going to be too much for 4-on-1 versus Shinsuke.
Very true. And it kind of defeats the object that you got to beat clean as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Which will be good. It's a good shout.
Because it needs to be a protected loss. It does.
Yeah, definitely.
There's no one there's no one on that roster at the moment that deserves to beat him, but except Samoa Joe, in my opinion, at the moment.
Yeah, and Samoa Joe, I can't see him winning the title back.
No, he won't win the title back, but that's who would deserve to beat him if someone was to beat him.
Yeah, I'd like to see Samoa Joe go up and beat Brock Lesnar. We talked about that last week anyway. But, You're right. He's doing it again.
Oh my god.
You're completely putting me off my funk, Caden.
I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ. Do you want to host it?
No, I'm okay.
Do you want to be the face that runs the fucking podcast?
I have the belt. And I'm your editor.
Oh, fuck you. Right. We've touched on Vince not wanting female main event. Blah, blah. Who gives a fuck about Vince? Finn Balor, we talked about him last week. He's expected to be at the Royal Rumble. As we've seen, he doesn't have a sling anymore. He's recovering perfectly fine.
Hold on. I got a question. Say he did have a sling. Would that make the sling blade a lot more relevant?
Do we need to be high as fuck to listen to that question again? That's one of them. Hits a bong. And then says question. And then weird high face meme shit. Fuck knows. It's a very valid question, though. I think that.
Yeah. Oh, that description is just wow. That was the most awkward 10 seconds of this podcast.
I'm out of my depth. I'm just gonna. I'm going. See you later, boys.
Oh god.
And he's back. So NXT out of 10, I was going to give it a 10 because I fucking enjoyed it this week, and the main event was insane.
I'll give it a 9. Why not?
I bet Steve hasn't even fucking watched it, have you?
He's probably like, what are these people talking about?
No, I haven't. I'm not going to lie. I haven't watched NXT in a while now, so.
Fair play. It's not.
It's alright though. They forcibly took money off my Visa card, so I'm going to have to watch it from now on.
Right. There was another thing as well. Dolph Ziggler mentioned today or yesterday that apparently the WWE are close to bringing pay-per-views back to the UK.
Grapple Game on tour.
Yeah, we're fucking going, lads. Caden, are you flying down, lad? You're supposed to go to the Royal Rumble, though, aren't you?
I am. I'm going to try to get tickets.
Actually, people off Twitter, look out for fucking Grapple Game signs at the Royal Rumble, because if Caden doesn't fucking show them... If Caden doesn't turn up to the Royal Rumble and he doesn't have fucking Grapple Game signs with him, consequences will be made. And Caden will get royally fucked. We'll send assassins to his fucking front door.
Yeah? And what happens when you do that? You're going to be without a...
We're going to be fucking with a world champ, aren't we? Jesus.
You're going to be messing with your champion editor and writer right here, man.
Yeah, we'll buy another one. It's fine. We don't need you anymore. But I like the idea of...
another one. Choose your words carefully.
I do quite like the idea of pay-per-views in the UK, I think. We've not. When was the last time we had one? Apart from NXT TakeOver.
Okay, never mind.
Was it not SummerSlam 90?
No, because they used to do the WWF ones, didn't they? They used to do the special UK.
Oh, Insurrection or
Insurrection,
or something like that.
Something like that,
yeah.
Which
as far as I know, that's the last one.
I think personally, when the WWE come to town, we have the best fans. Nothing against these people, but I think we grew up
everything
with
against them. Half of America sucks.
Yeah,
the crowds are mostly dead.
No, yeah, I'm American, but yeah, I can agree that the UK crowds are typically the best crowds.
You go to America, they've got these. They go to the soccer games, dude. And they fucking...
Radical, dude.
They don't know how to fucking chant for shit. So, you come over here, you've got...
We love soccer, yes we do.
We've got the Man United fans, me and Steve. We've got the fucking...
Yeah, the Man United fans just need to start chanting trash.
Why would we chant trash at our own team?
Because that's what you
are. Because they are.
We are shit. We know this.
But we're shit and we know we are.
Yeah.
Just leave it at that.
Yeah,
I'm not getting into United. I'm depressed enough as it is.
Yeah. No comment on that, but I know full well that me and Steve are going to fucking UK pay-per-views if they come over here.
Yeah.
There's no two ways around it. We'll bring the Duff man as well. Where is he? I bet he's going to watch this. Got to give a shout out to the Duff.
Shout out to the Duff. What did he say? He said fuck the Duff last week.
Right, so
sudden change of...
I've done a big show.
Ollie's worse than the big show.
Yeah. I'm not a heel anymore. I'm a face. I'm a nice guy.
Then I'll continue my heel ways. Fuck the Duff.
Somebody has to say it, don't they? We'll be on program later tonight, and he's going to get it all. But right, so we're swiftly moving on to questions. We've got 3 fucking questions this week.
We keep moving up.
We've had 1 for the first week, then we had 2, and now we're on 3. How many are we going to get next week?
When you look at it, we actually have 4 because Duff asked 2 questions.
Yeah, we're going to get to that, actually.
No,
be quite interesting.
No, the first part is not a question. No, the first part is not a question.
The first part is
not a question.
Or else the assassins are going to your fucking door. No, I'm going to send Sanity around Nikki Cross to do you in.
Oh.
Bring him on.
Right, so we've changed the complete layout of the podcast as well, so drum roll, please. Questions. Yay. The first question is from Mudgy99 on Twitter. He says, if Sasha and Charlotte don't main event Hell in a Cell, what match should be the first female first female match to main event a pay-per-view? There's a lot of possibilities to that.
There's so many possibilities, but I think when you look at it, and you think, okay, they have a history. They put on great matches. They main evented already. I think you got to look at Sasha versus Bailey.
Steve?
I think the 4 horsewomen should main event, not a WrestleMania, because under Vince that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I think they should main event something like a SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So not WrestleMania, but just under WrestleMania, which will be SummerSlam. And I'd like to see the 4 of them main event.
I have been vouching for a 4 horsewomen main event for quite some time. Well, not a main event per se, because it honestly doesn't bother me that it's a main event or not. But I do want I want a 4 horsewomen match, and I think the likes of WrestleMania or SummerSlam is only fit for that. So I'd like to see that. And I think I'd like to see... I love Charlotte. I'm not too keen on Sasha. I love Bailey and I love Becky. But the way that Becky has been portrayed over the past year or so, I'd like to see her have a strong run and come out the victor in that match.
But that's the thing. This is Becky's whole gimmick and thing. She's going for the whole Becky Balboa. She wants to be the kind of... Essentially, she wants to be put down, to be built back up, and then get her shot, which she did, and she won the title.
Yeah, she's good.
It's kind of like she has... What she is a more successful female Sami Zayn.
Yeah. Wise words from the Steve man there, and his fucking fearless Nikki Bella t-shirt and cap.
Don't forget the hat.
Eating his popcorn.
Popcorn,
mate. That's a stinging Roger. Right.
Next question.
Don't we? This one's from the Duff Man himself.
Oh.
It says, can Steve do his Shinsuke Nakamura impression?
Come on, Steve.
No.
Come on.
No.
Please. We have to see this.
There is no 2 ways around it. You're going to have to do it.
Okay. First, let's get the setting right. Remember... Oh, God, Duff. There's no way of doing this without seeming racist. Okay.
Just do
Remember back when he debuted and they had the little video package when Sami Zayn was in the ring?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, when you're like...
There's a scene he's like lying up against the wall.
Yeah.
He's looking away and he looks away. Sami Zayn. I felt an active takeover. Or then his promo after he won the title, he was like, I face greatest competition in NXT. I face Finn Balor, Sami Zayn, and then Samoa Joe. I hate it. Okay, that's the only Shinsuke impression you're ever getting.
Do you know what? You're doing the intro for these videos every week in that fucking voice. He's nailed on. You have to do it every week.
Sami Zayn. I will face you on NXT TakeOver. Sami Zayn.
Right. Leave a comment below if you want to see Steve do the intro to the podcast each week in that voice. If you get 10 comments that prove that he's doing it, it's as simple as that.
Oh my God.
Steve is the new face of fucking Japanese wrestling. That is fucking genius.
I am no king of strong style, Shinsuke, and I'm coming for you.
Praise the Duff.
Thank you. Shout out to Duff.
Right, we'll move on to his second part of the question, which was, which Hell in a Cell match do you think will be the main event?
Owens Rollins, just because we reported it.
Yeah, Owens Rollins, it has to be. It's the universal title, I think. It has to go on last at the end of the day.
Oh my God.
Steve?
Oh, still devastated I had to do that and embarrass myself. But yeah, I'm just gonna go with G because I am a sheep.
You fucking Bray Wyatt following bastard.
My head hurts.
Right, so we're all agreed on that.
All right.
And the other question was from @MeetMyDemon on Twitter, which was Shield reunion at Survivor Series, too soon or correct time?
Meet my demon.
Meet my demon.
It's Finn
Not
Balor.
eat my demon, meet my demon.
Nice name.
I don't know. 'Cause I'm trying to I'm trying to figure out how they would do this, considering Ambrose is on the separate brand,
Yeah, but a Survivor Series, they're all on the same show.
but they would be on different teams though.
If they had brains, they could work it into it.
I doubt
Yeah.
Ambrose would even be in a title match. Or Ambrose would. I doubt Ambrose would be in a tag team match. Surely he'd be in the title match against AJ.
See, we don't know how this is gonna go though. We don't know if they're gonna be title matches or we don't know.
So do you
Surely
think
there
it's
has
too
to be,
soon?
because I doubt AJ Styles is going to be, unless the two champions are captains, which, okay, I presume that's going to be it. But
Look at it this way. Maybe they have two matches. They're in that match, and then they have the title matches. Survivor Series is a 4-hour show. It's 6 hours in total. You've got a 2-hour pre-show.
another
So it's gonna
4-hour
be a
show.
Yep.
Oh, his company blows.
They're building it like SummerSlam and WrestleMania, which is a good thing, but at the end of the day, they've got to have a good card for people to be invested. But they are building
Ready
Survivor
for the Brock
Series quite
Lesnar
well.
Goldberg 2-hour wrestling extravaganza.
Heck yeah. Okay,
Filled
so
with working holes and suplexes.
to this question, I think it'd be the right time. When you look at it, how they would do it, I don't know, but it'd be cool to see, considering that all three men are faces now, and we've seen Rollins help Roman, in like the past couple months, with Rusev and Owens. So it'd be cool to see. I don't think it's too soon. I think it'd be the right time.
Right. Well, personally, I think that it's too soon. I don't personally think they should do a Shield reunion for a few years yet. I think they should let them have the singles careers for a little longer, and then towards maybe the end of the career, not that far, but
Yeah.
give it them then. Same way Evolution did.
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't want to see it too soon, but what I
Evolution.
do want to see is exactly Shield versus Evolution again. I would like, say, Ambrose is in a feud with, who do we have? Orton, Seth in a feud with Triple H, and bring back Batista to work with Roman at some pay-per-view. I'll just form together and have a match again, because that first match I thoroughly enjoyed. That was
I watched them
brilliant
both
match.
actually, not too long
Both of
ago.
their matches.
Brilliant.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't want to see it too soon, because even now I still think it's too soon. But I would like to see it at some stage.
Because there was talk of the Royal Rumble next year, which I think all three of those men should be in the match itself. Yeah, I'd just give it a few years yet. I think it's too soon. If they bring them back now, it kind of stunts what they did back in the day, which was only a couple of years ago. But they've done everything they need to do for now. I don't think they have anything that they need left to do yet. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question. But it's Hell in a Cell tomorrow, people. Woo!
Yeah.
Well, this is coming out Sunday, isn't it? So it's technically today.
Yeah.
All right, fucking smart ass.
Oh, since it's Sunday, can we just take a moment of silence for it's the week anniversary of Glenn's death on The Walking Dead, and
Right, I'm ending this call. Get the fuck out.
See, I could say something really stupid here, but I'd piss off a lot of people for spoilers. I'm not going to say it.
Go on, say it.
say it.
Daryl dies.
Daryl dies.
Yeah.
Daryl?
See, I've
There
not
was a
watched
picture.
Walking Dead.
There was a picture of him posted.
Was there? I've not watched Walking Dead since.
Well, there was a picture of him posted online, and they're doing the scene, and he's hanging up, and his stomach is slit, and there's zombies eating out of him.
Lovely.
Huh.
That
We're
was
on a
the
rest
point.
podcast, and we're posting Walking Dead spoilers. Good job.
Sorry.
People are gonna fucking hate us, aren't they?
You
If
should
don't
really
hate
put
us
like
already.
put a spoiler warning before this segment.
Right, we will do.
Unrelated to wrestling.
I've not watched Walking Dead since the end of season 4 because it bores the shit out of me. But I said once Daryl dies, I'm not watching it again.
Oh, well.
At this point, I don't ever have to watch it again. Thankful for that shit.
Let's get on to the question.
There is no question.
The thing. What are we talking about?
We're going on to the Hell in a Cell. We're gonna. So we'll do it how we did it last time. We'll just do quick fire.
Quick fire
predictions.
Okay. Let's go.
So Cedric Alexander, Lindsay.
Oh, we have the full card now, don't we?
Eh?
What?
We have the full card now, don't we?
Yeah,
we got the full card.
We did last time.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's sweet.
So we got
Right.
Cedric, Lindsay Dorado, and Sin Cara versus Drew Gulak, Arya Davari, and Tony Nese.
I'm going with Team Ass.
I'm gonna go faces, Cedric and that.
I gotta go with the ass. The ass.
I'm gonna go with the faces as well because that contradicts the prediction later on.
Bailey versus Dana Brooke. Complete
Bailey.
squash match, Bailey.
Bailey. It's gonna be a brutal match.
Yeah.
Just hard to watch.
Pretty much.
Enzo Amore and Big Cass versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Watch Caden's face right now.
Oh, he has his camera turned off or something. He's just left the call. I'll go first with this one. So, surely it's got to be the club.
Yeah.
You would think. You would think.
You know what? I'd like to see the club win it. But I think Enzo and Cass will win it. Just because Vince is...
I'm going to go with the club because simply they cannot not give them a win here. A loss doesn't affect Enzo and Cass.
Right. Caden?
But this is another thing. It has to be a squash match. Simple as.
Yeah.
It can't be a close encounter or they win by shenanigans. They need to go in and squash just Enzo.
Caden?
I see this tall dude in the Muppet head Punk winning this match.
Oh, God damn it. Why did you have to say that? You are so negative.
What do you expect?
Oh.
What do you want from me? My boys have been losing
Ollie's
since
the man who
freaking
says the more
SummerSlam. What do you want from me?
No comment. No comment. Right. TJP versus
Club
Brian.
for life.
This is the match I'm most looking forward to because this is the only match where I genuinely don't know who's going to win.
I'm going to go with Brian Kendrick.
I agree. I think Kendrick wins this.
I think they're going to continue on the storyline of Kendrick being this is all he's got, so I think they're going to stick with TJP.
Fair play. Right, next
Fair play. Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, God, I don't even want to read this one out. The New Day versus Cesaro and Sheamus for the Tag Team Championships.
New Day?
New Day.
New day.
Piece of piss.
There's no other way around it.
They're breaking this record, so, you know.
We have the
Yeah,
first
I was
match.
reading somewhere that the only reason they want them to break the record is because it's the Demolition who have the record, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
Alive, aren't they? I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think one of them's dead, but the one that's alive wants to sue the company. So, in other words, the company just want them forgotten about.
Wicked.
The usual WWE.
That's what I'm reading. Personally, I don't believe that though, because I think genuinely Vince just loves the New Day.
Yeah. The money making.
Because look at the money they're generating at the moment through merch, and they have a new shirt every day. They have new Horn cereal. But they're just money makers.
For some reason.
Right, so we'll move on. We've got the first of the triple main events because WWE don't have the bollocks to say which one should go on last. Roman Reigns versus Rusev for the United States Championship.
Roman.
No point in answering that.
Yeah,
It's Roman.
Yeah. Roman.
Sasha Banks versus Charlotte in the first ever women's title match.
Oh, it's going to be Sasha, isn't it? God damn.
I want Charlotte to win, but it'll be Sasha.
I'm going with the Beagle. Sasha
Beagle.
Banks.
Can we get a picture, actually? Can we get a picture of the Beagle?
Yeah, sure. I'll put in a picture of the Beagle.
Right, we've got a picture of the Beagle going up. I'm going to give you that one of her massive forehead as well. We're just going to...
Do you want that? Do you want that?
A receding hairline, you mean?
What are you saying, Caden?
Do you want that picture throughout the entire video, or like for this one segment?
Just the one segment.
Okay.
We don't want to look at a picture of fucking a dog. Right, and then we obviously have what should be the main event, but we don't fucking know whether it's going to be or not. Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship inside.
It's going to be Owens. It's going to be Kevin Owens. We know it's going to be Kevin Owens.
I'll go with KO.
Steve?
As I said, there's 2 matches on this card which are pretty much not 100% predictable, and that's the 2 cruiserweight matches. That's what I think, personally.
Yeah.
There was another one as well. I don't know if they've added it to the card, but did they not say it on Raw? It was Braun Strowman and Sami Zayn.
I don't know, actually.
I don't think they've said it yet, have they?
They'll probably add it to the kickoff show, won't they?
If they do add it, I personally think Zayn will win. As I said last week, I think he'll get the first upper hand with the drive Braun and Zayn and just squash him.
I'm just going to be the bastard that goes the other way and say Braun Strowman will win that one.
I'm going with Strowman as well. I just don't know.
I just think that's how it'll go.
Just don't know what to do with Sammy.
The fact that Sammy's probably going to be on the kickoff show anyway just says everything about what they want to do with him. But
exactly.
So I think that's everything. We've covered everything, really, haven't we?
Looks like it.
We wanted to get people talking in the comments as well.
Pretty good.
So I've got a question for you. If you were given the keys to drive TNA today and you became the owner of TNA, what would be the first thing that you would do? Leave us some comments below. Remember to like and subscribe as well. I'm not used to saying that at all. Feels good.
Cheer, you know.
So do that. Remember to follow us on Twitter at grplgme. As soon as we get to 100 followers, we can get our own YouTube URL. So the sooner you do that and subscribe,
yeah, they're called subscribers. Ollie, come on, give it the times.
Dickheads.
Come on.
Right, subscribers. Right. So as soon as we get 100 subs, we'll get our own thingy. But yeah. Anyways, we'll be back next week.
Don't forget, 1,000 followers. Ollie's giving away a free T-shirt.
I am actually, yeah.
Yeah.
So once we hit 1,000 followers, we're giving away a free WWE T-shirt from the shop of your choosing. So you have to dig up a tweet, but I'll leave the link to the tweet in the description.
So if you follow us, also get your dog follows, and then your dog's dog.
Make accounts for your dogs. Follow us, it's fine.
And if you follow us, you too can save Kurt Hawkins' career.
Don't think anyone wants to.
Face the facts.
So we were talking about an awkward 10-second silence before.
Yours is the worst.
Right, anyways. We'll love you and leave you. We'll see you next week for week number 4. We're going to have a Hell in a Cell review video out tomorrow. We are also going to do some top fives and stuff through the week, so look out for those. They'll have WWE 2K17 gameplay on them, and we'll see you then.
Face 'em.